everyone, welcome back to another episode of Connie's English. I'm Connie and today I'm going to share something a bit more personal, how I became an English teacher. It's a journey that has shaped both my professional and personal life, and I think it will be interesting to dive into how I got started, the challenges I faced, and what I've learned along the way. So let's chat. Let's rewind to when I was a kid. Like many of you, I grew up learning English in school, but back then I didn't quite connect with it the way I do now. English was something I had to get through to pass exams, but it wasn't really fun, you know. It wasn't until I started exploring English outside of school, through music, movies, and chatting with people, that I realized just how fascinating the language could be. It wasn't about memorizing grammar rules. It was about being able to understand the world, connecting with people, and expressing myself in ways that I never thought possible. So when I was in university in Liverpool, I had this aha moment. I was studying in an English-speaking country, and even though I was already fluent, I could see how much more there was to learn and experience. I was also learning German at that time, studying it online, and I got this idea. Why not teach English online? After all, if I could teach myself a new language, surely I could teach others English too, right? At that point, I really had no clue about teaching. I didn't have any formal qualifications yet, and I certainly wasn't experienced, but I thought, why not give it a try? So I started teaching English online while I was still a student. It was a bit of a leap of faith because I didn't have a teaching background. In fact, I had to go back and refresh my own English grammar knowledge. I spent hours studying the rules of tenses, sentence structures, and everything I thought I might need to know. I had never thought that teaching could make me appreciate the intricacies of English grammar as much as I do now. I remember my first lesson like it was yesterday. I was nervous. I stumbled through some explanations, and honestly, I wasn't sure if I was doing it right. But then, something magical happened. I started building a connection with my students. Teaching English became so much more than just teaching. It felt like making friends, hearing about their lives, and sharing experiences. When you're teaching adults, it's not just about vocabulary and grammar. It's about understanding their needs, their goals, and helping them to express themselves confidently. Of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing. I had my fair share of challenges. Being a student myself, I had a packed schedule, and sometimes I struggled to balance my own studies with teaching. It got really hectic at times. But here's the thing, teaching also kept me motivated. It kept me sharp. I had to prepare for every lesson, make sure my students were learning, and help them improve their skills. Even when I was exhausted from studying for my own courses, I always found energy to teach. Another challenge was, of course, the fact that I wasn't qualified at the time. I remember feeling like I wasn't good enough, like I wasn't a professional teacher. But that feeling of inadequacy actually pushed me to improve. I realized that to be a better teacher, I had to invest in myself. So I started taking courses on teaching English, learning about different teaching methods, and deepening my understanding of the language itself. Fast forward a bit, and I realized that my initial approach wasn't enough. Yes, I was getting students and building connections, but I needed more. I wanted to be a better teacher. So I committed to learning and growing. I enrolled in various teacher training courses and qualifications, such as the IPA teaching course and CertTESOL, to get a more structured understanding of language teaching. That journey wasn't easy, but it was incredibly rewarding. It helped me build the confidence I needed to truly own my role as a teacher. The more I learned, the more I realized how much there was to teaching that I hadn't even considered. It's not just about the language. It's about understanding people, tailoring lessons to fit their needs, and providing them with the tools they need to succeed. After a year of teaching online and gaining more experience, I decided it was time to take things to the next level. That's when I launched my own business, Potato Education. I've always loved the idea of learning languages in a relaxed, stress-free way. No pressure, just fun and practical learning. Potato Education was born out of that passion. I wanted to create a space where students could feel comfortable and confident, and where they could enjoy the learning process without the fear of making mistakes. Starting my own business was another challenge, of course. There were so many things I had to learn, from marketing to running a business to managing students. But it was one of the best decisions I ever made, because it allowed me to continue doing what I love, helping people improve their English while building a community of learners. So, what's my philosophy when it comes to teaching? Well, I believe that language learning should be a journey, not a destination. Everyone's path is different, and that's okay. We are all learners, no matter how much we know. I always encourage my students to embrace mistakes, because mistakes are an essential part of the learning process. I try to create a comfortable environment where students feel safe to make errors, ask questions, and grow without fear of judgment. Ultimately, what I love most about teaching is seeing my students gain confidence in themselves. It's amazing to witness someone go from doubting their ability to speak English to confidently chatting in the language. That's what drives me, helping people realize that they can achieve their goals no matter how big or small. So there you have it, my journey to becoming an English teacher. It wasn't a strict path, and it definitely had its ups and downs, but it's been a rewarding and fulfilling ride. I feel lucky every day to what I do and help so many wonderful people on their own language learning journeys. If you are thinking about learning English or pursuing teaching, I want to say, go for it. Trust in the process, be patient with yourself, and enjoy the journey. It's worth it, and it's never too late to start. Thanks for listening today, and I'll see you next time on Connie's English. Bye.